All right, check it out. We are 2 days out from my half marathon this Saturday, Göteborgsvarvet, which that's what it's called. It's in the city of, I think it's Gothenburg in English, Göteborg. It's in Sweden. And I'm in Norway, obviously, so not too far to travel there, but a few hours on the train. And I want to talk a little bit about my pre-race thoughts, my expectations to the race, and all that good stuff today. And you know what? I'm gonna do this in a one-take video because I don't have time to edit. I don't want to spend time editing. I want to get this video out right away. So no cuts, no edits. This video is going straight up raw. So here we go. All right. So first of all, it's my third half marathon. I ran my first half marathon last summer, did 1:46, and then 3 months later, I believe, I ran my second half marathon. That was Oslo half marathon, and I ran a 1:33:38, I think, 1:33:38. And so I'm hoping, obviously, to go sub 1:30 this time, and we'll get to that. A little bit more background. I have trained over the winter. I was able to get my mileage up a little bit, but then I got sick, and so I wasn't able to put down a perfect base before I started my race-specific build-up back in March. But still, and if you saw my last video that came out yesterday on this channel, I did a VO2 max session at the track. That was in March. That was the first real session of my build-up. So I only had a bit of a short build-up, only 6 weeks, which is not ideal, but you know, that's the way it is sometimes. I'm feeling epic, like right now and yesterday and the day before, like these last few days of tapering and stuff. I'm just feeling really, really good, super stoked and excited. I actually trimmed my beard a little bit today, which is not, I don't do that very often, but I feel like to be fast and tight on race day, I want to be, you know, yeah, I want to have a trimmed beard, and I got my hair cut as well, so it doesn't look too awesome right now, but yeah, just a little shorter, just to be a little cooler and faster psychologically. So the race is in Gothenburg, Göteborg, which is a few hours away from here. And I'm going there with my dad. So my dad is also running. He's done the race like a lot of times before in his life. He used to do it every year back in the day. I remember sitting at home as a kid looking through his medals. You know, everyone gets a medal at a race, so you don't have to win to get a medal, by the way. So I looked through his medals, and Göteborgsvarvet, he had a lot of those medals from that race. And so, you know, now I'm doing the race and he's doing it as well. So we're going there tomorrow. We're taking the train. And tomorrow is actually the 17th of May, which is the National Day in Norway. So a lot of celebrations in Norway. We'll be heading out though. We will heading to Sweden on the train to a hotel, and that's all good. I'm gonna bring my bananas. So I have ripe bananas for breakfast on race day. I'm gonna bring my own dinner, rice and sweet potatoes, just to keep it consistent and avoid too much salt and stuff the day before the race. So I'm going to keep my own schedule in terms of food and what I'm eating and that sort of thing. And then we're just going to have a good time. Get up on Saturday, and the race starts at 1 p.m. So I'm in the third group, I think. So the first two groups would be the elites, and then right after the elites, there's the first group of runners. And then after that, it's my group. And that's pretty cool. So pretty early start, like in terms of everyone who's racing. I'm one of the first groups to start. 1:08 p.m. So 13:08. That's when I'm starting. If you want to follow the race, I'll put a link in the description of this video where you can go to the race website. And maybe if you want to track me, you can find my name there and track me. You don't have to do that, and I don't think anyone not many will do that. But I like doing that when I'm following people. So whenever Sage Canada I'm a big fan of Sage Canada here on YouTube. He has got a YouTube channel as well. Whenever he's racing, well, sometimes when he's racing, I'm following him, I'm tracking him, seeing his splits and making sure he's on pace, you know? Very exciting. Anyway, what should I say now? This is when I usually would cut, you know? I would make a cut there and I would be like, what to say next? And then I would, you know, jump right into the next segment, but this is real. So yeah, we're going there tomorrow. Yeah, and then my dad starts, he starts a little bit later. I think he starts almost at like 3:30 or something like that. So I'll actually be finished before he starts. Anyway, that's the background. And as I said, I did my base building. I got up to about 90K per week for a while there before Christmas, but then I wasn't able to hit really high mileage during the spring. So I'm actually lower in mileage now in this build-up than I was in my Oslo half marathon build-up. But I've done more intensity this time. I've done more time at threshold, and well, more time at threshold really. That's the difference. But so I don't know if that's going to affect me positively, negatively, or just stay the same. In terms of time, that's what I think about the most anyway. I did, as I said, 1:33:38 in Oslo last year. And that's quite a hilly course, whereas in Göteborg, it's not as many hills. So if we account for that, I was already probably able to do 1:32 something in Göteborg 6 months ago. Like if I were to race Göteborg instead of Oslo, I would probably race 1:32. And since then I've obviously improved, right? So, but here's the thing. I've also gained 2 kilos of fat. Okay, I've gained 2 kilos of fat over the winter. And, you know, typically you say for each kilo of fat you gain, you lose about 2 to 3 seconds per kilometer. Okay, and likewise, every kilo of fat you lose, you gain about 2 to 3 seconds per kilometer. So if I've lost 5 seconds per kilometer, say, since last fall, due to gaining some weight, that sort of eats up a lot of the performance gains, right? Because I think, based on my threshold pace, I think my threshold pace before Oslo was sort of like 4:15 per kilometer, whereas now it's more like 4:10, I think, which means I've improved 5 seconds per kilometer. But since I've also gained weight, if I didn't gain that weight, I would have another 5 seconds per kilometer gain. So that means since then, in the last 6 months, I've possibly gained about 10 seconds per kilometer on my threshold pace, which is pretty good. That's very good for a 6-month gain. But as I said, I've gained that weight, so I haven't been able to realize those fully, and I've only effectively able to run only 5 seconds per kilometer faster than 6 months ago. So that would be about 2 minutes or so, a little less than 2 minutes improvement from my half marathon time. So that would bring us down to 1:33:38 to 1:32, 1:31:38. But then it's a flatter course, so maybe I'm down on 1:30 something, right? I'm just on that edge. Like, I want to go sub 1:30. I want to see 1:29 something. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm going to try to do. But it's right on that edge, and it seems it's going to be a little on the warm side, 18 degrees Celsius maybe, possibly some humid weather, which is not good. Might, you know, make it more difficult for me. It will make it more difficult for me, but you know what? I'm just gonna go out and give it my all. I'm gonna run a pace from the get-go that would give me a 1:29 something, right? So I need to average 4:15 per kilometer or faster. If I see anything above 4:15, and I'm running slower than 90 minutes for the half, so I need to try and do that, 4:15 per kilometer. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really tough, but that's what races are all about. Because in reality, you're always on that edge, aren't you? You're always on the edge because you're pushing yourself and you see where you're at and you're setting yourself a goal, and that goal is usually just on the edge of what you're able to do, isn't it? That's how it works. I realize now that where am I looking? I'm looking there. Okay, so because when I'm looking there, I'm of course looking at the screen and it looks like I'm not looking you in the eyes, but there is better, right? Well, that's where I'm looking most of the time anyway, so. Okay, so yeah, I'm right on that edge. So later today, I'm gonna try and look at the course profile on Strava and analyze a little bit, different splits, maybe 5K splits, and figure out where I want to be at, what time should I have at 5K, 10K, 15, 20, the cumulative splits to be sure that I'm on pace and not to be discouraged because of some hill, and it's sometimes difficult to rely on the watch. It might not always be perfectly correct. And because I'm so much on the edge, I want to rely more on actual splits as I pass the kilometer markers and look at my watch rather than following too much on the pace. And pretty comfortable with the 4:15 pace usually, but to keep it up for 90 minutes, that's another story altogether. My dad's goal, I think, is, we don't know exactly what to expect. He's hoping, I'm coaching him, by the way. We are hoping that he is going to go sub 220. But he might not be able to, but at least he wants to go sub 230. But honestly, on a good day, I think he could go sub 215, right? And he hasn't been training that consistently over the last few years, although over the last year, he has had some good bouts of good training, like before Oslo half marathon last year, and now again before this race he's had some good training. So let's see where it goes. And of course, bear in mind he's 60 years old, so that's another factor altogether. What else? I'm running in the Hoka Clifton shoes. They're going to be great, good cushioning, but still fairly light. I feel pretty good with them. I feel pretty fast. I'm gonna wear minimal clothing, obviously, just a white loose singlet, just to keep things flowing and just to lose heat as efficiently as possible, which is gonna be key. Rest day today, no training. I did 5K easy yesterday. I did a tune-up on Tuesday, just touched on threshold a little bit. Tomorrow, Friday, I'm gonna do a 3 kilometers of just easy, just shake out kind of run in the morning, and then heading to Sweden on the train. And then Saturday morning, of course, nothing before the race, except for a warm-up last minute. I'll probably do like 3K, maybe 4K, something like that, just to get ready for the pace that's to come. Biggest half marathon in the world, I think. The Göteborgsvarvet, I think so, in terms of how many participants are there. So that's pretty cool to participate in. I hope it's not going to be rainy. It looks like it might rain. I'm hoping it won't. But then again, I do hope it's going to stay overcast because I don't want that direct sun. That's going to add another factor in terms of the heat. Long term, I'm definitely going sub 130. Come on. I mean, I want to go sub 110. That's what I want to do, at least at one point. But I got to be patient. Got to have that long-term build-up. And bear in mind that, strictly speaking, I've only trained systematically for 2 years, right? Before those 2 years, I was sort of on and off, a lot of false starts to my running career because of some injuries and my sickness after the rabies vaccine, etc. So I was not able to train consistently at that point. But I would say the only year that I've trained really consistently is 2018. 2018 was a consistent year of training. 2019 has been pretty good. So going sub 130 now, I feel like I'm due to do that. I should be able to do that. I want to be able to do that. I hope I'm going to be able to do that. That's my A goal, but I do have a B goal as well. Usually I have an A, B, and C goal, but this year I just have an A goal and a B goal. My A goal is, 129. 129. I'm going to freaking do it. My B goal is personal best, right? I want to run a PB, of course. So if I can't go sub 130, at least I'm going to go faster than 133.38, right? At least I'm going to do that. So I'll be happy regardless because I love running and it's just the whole experience of racing is awesome anyway. So I'm pretty sure I'll be fine mentally and emotionally regardless of the result. But let's face it, I'll be disappointed if I don't go sub 130. So But luckily that's not going to happen. I'm not going to be disappointed because I am going to go sub 130. I'm going to go 129.39. 129.39. That's what we're going to do. Alrighty. That's it. I do have Patreon now. I just want to mention that on the end if you haven't heard about it. Maybe I do have a Patreon page for the Lone Trail where I post video snippets like this, unedited stuff, but actually very much shorter, just like 1 minute, 2 minute video snippets from my training life, just random updates, that sort of thing. I do it a couple of times a week over there on Patreon, as well as a monthly Q&A, and I also offer coaching, monthly coaching, if you're interested in a little bit of someone to stay accountable to or whatever, and some advice, of course, with your training. So anyway, if you're interested in that, there's a link in the description to the Patreon. You can go check that out. I'm also going to put that link to the website for the race in case you want to follow along on Saturday. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm pretty stoked and I feel pretty good and I'm really happy, and it's just a super, super beautiful day. We're going to finish up showing you outside here in Norway. Look at this. I mean, it's perfection. It's perfection. All right, so thanks a lot for following along my journey here on the Lone Trail. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your comments. Put them down below. And of course, if you haven't subscribed and you just watched this video randomly, then please go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you with me on my journey towards peak fitness. Alrighty. See ya.